Hello, hello. So I'm just waiting for people to join. I won't be able to see you, so if you can hear and see me, can you pop a comment in for me? Let me know that you're here. And if people are aware of how I can see who's here, then do let me know. But if you're here, hi Jane, nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. Let me know, can you hear and see me okay? I have my screen split because I'm going to refer to something. But let me know if there's any problems. So there's 3 people here. Thank you for joining me on time. So we're going to go, depending on how many people show up, might go for an hour, up to an hour. So if you haven't got water, if you want to get comfortable. Hi Teresa, nice to see you. Thanks for letting me know you can hear and see me. So depending, as I say, depending on how many people come up, we've got 5 people here now. If you've just joined, please do say hello in the comments so I know who's here. I can't see the 5, I just get a number by the eye telling me that there's 5 people watching. So do let me know who's here. 6 people. We're going to give it a few more minutes before we get going. So if we don't have water or a cup of tea, I have both. Sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. So get yourselves comfy. I've scheduled an hour. It'll give me time to, have a little chat and then do some readings. And it'll depend on how many people are here, how many people have questions or want a reading. So yeah, we'll just give it a few more minutes. And I hope you all had a good day. Okay. So welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. So far I can see that I have the women, the sisters present. Men and brothers are welcome, as I'll be doing intuitive card pulls. But the topic of, as you know, my work is feminine based, primarily helping women empower themselves through spiritual practice. But men is in much need of connecting to their feminine energy and to spiritual connection, in my view, and potentially more so because it's not as easy for men to connect and communicate like we women can in sisterhood and in circle. So if anybody, welcome to those that are joining. We haven't started, I'm just shuffling as my pre-ritual. It's good to have my hands on the cards. But if you have been in a women's circle before, either with me or with someone else, or if you haven't, just put a little comment in the box. Let me know whether you've been in circle with women before and whether you haven't. Because I know I realised in sort of launching them myself, women can be a bit resistant. I always introduce them and say this isn't fight. Well, it's a bit like Fight Club, only obviously less physical, but it's not stitch and bitch. We're not here to just moan and gossip. It's far more productive and healing than that. But we've kind of lost, as women, the trust and the healing connection and support through each other. And it's been one of the greatest tools to me over the last few years. I only connected to feminine energetic work later on in my spiritual journey. But it's where the greatest shifts happened for me as a woman, as a yogini. A yogini is the feminine term for yogi, spiritual practitioner, those on a spiritual path of discovery and enlightenment. So yeah, as many of you know, if you're followers of mine, I kind of dedicated myself to my spiritual path back in the end of 2017, and now I'm coming back into service. Okay, so any comments, anyone who want to chat, want to share, whether they've been in women's circles before, whether they haven't, let me know. So, Okay. Okay, so there will be the replay, so I'm just going to crack on because I want to use the time as I promised to make sure I do all things. So thank you to those of you that are here. As you know, I'm Liz and I'm Embodied Feminine Energy. Oh, another comment's come through, so bear with me if there's a delay on comments. Okay, so pregnancy yoga sessions, yeah, so pregnancy yoga, I studied and trained in that straight after my 200 hours in India, and I didn't appreciate what it was activating in me in terms of a feminine approach, a feminine energetic approach to yoga and to spiritual connection, and also to my body. It started right off the bat for me, and I didn't realize, the call for what I considered to be divine feminine experiences came, consciously to me back in 2017. But moving with the body in a more mindful and connected way as a woman, with women's organs, with women's energy, with women's cycles, these are important. And it's, for me, I feel like I'd prefer to have connected to myself as a woman and then found, in an ideal world, and then found the spiritual path, because I would have had more empowerment and more understanding about myself and my empowerment through spiritual practice, rather than just following another doctrine, another, set of belief systems, which, was created primarily by men, for male bodies. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it is about, as women, taking back our independence and our empowerment, not just to do what we're told is good for us, and to really develop the inner intuitive awareness to feel into what's good with us, and also to honor the fact that we are different. So there's lots of practices like Kapalabhati, breathing practices, which are all about raising fire and heat. But it was only when I came across Uma Dinsmore-Tuli later on in my journey with her womb yoga program that I really understood that it's not great to do it at all, especially on your cycle as a woman, because you're creating heat and tension in the abdominal cavity, where you really want to be softening and releasing and relaxing. And you'll know I am a yogini. I have been teaching yoga, and even as a yoga teacher, I still had a lot of resistance to resting, to letting my body lead, and wanted to be up with looking like a yoga teacher and doing the flows and the movements. So there's a lot where we lose ourselves in spiritual practice, and particularly in the Western commercialization of yoga. So hello to those that have joined. I'm just chatting about women's work, about how I got into it, and some of the people present have commented whether they've been part of a women's circle before or not. So I'm going to stop my ramble, and I'm going to read you a passage. This is the introduction from my as yet unpublished book, because I've had a lot of new people come to my pages, and I've had a lot of people, I think, just wondering who I am, where I've come from. Sometimes I'll talk about the fact that I had a past life and this life as a lawyer. Sometimes obviously it'll come up that I've taught yoga, and then now I'm here and I'm offering very specific feminine embodied practices. And my course, the Foundations of Embodied Spirituality for Women, is wrapping up the key parts of practices that have really brought me home to myself in the last 5 years. And it's not a yoga course. Yoga is a sacred practice. I still practice it most days, but I practice it from a different perspective, and with not having it on sort of like a pedestal as being like the spiritual aha, which I think a lot of people can have. My spirituality and my connection and my ritual and worship comes in many forms. And that's what I want to share with women and for women, is to help you realize how simple it is in just 15 minutes a day to connect to your spirituality and to embody that in very simple practices. So without much further ado, I'm going to read you my introduction, because I feel like it gives you a bit of a summary of where I've been and how I've got here. It's not too long. But I also wrote it in August 2019. Okay, so that was the time where I'd just come back from Vietnam. I'd received my intuitive guidance to stop teaching yoga. I wasn't earning any money. I wasn't being of any use, so I perceived in the world. And I was really trying to trust that the intuitive tarot was going to firstly make me an income and then open up into more psychic abilities, as I've been led to believe I'm here to share. And, you know, a year on, I'm just in a different place, and progression is a really dangerous thing to hope for, and to sort of say I'll be happy when I am in a completely different place internally and energetically, but very little, you know, has really changed. I'm still putting the pieces together, but I'm happy, and as I say, I'm just at home in myself, and it's a huge gift, and it's come through a commitment to say yes to myself, and to turn inwards. So I'm going to read this passage to you from the introduction of my book. So August 2019. My spiritual path caught me by surprise. My mother was one of those annoying people who insisted on praying for me whilst I was growing up. And she insisted on telling me regularly that I should pray. And I would roll my eyes and huff away this whilst the blood would boil within me in defiance of being told what to do, but also in revolt of this type of whimsy in faith. I was a smart girl. I did well in school, and I enjoyed being socially acceptable, and so a people-pleasing, type A, overachieving smartass was sent out into the world. I knew at the age of 13 that I wanted to be a lawyer. I would feed over debates with my rather smart and pedantic stepfather, earning his approval by standing up with fair argument and big words. We would both spend hours thrashing out the woes of the world, with him demonstrating a far less liberal heart than he truly owns in order to bait me into debate. I have often remarked that I am people's favourite touch paper to light because I flare up in fire and feistiness so easily, and I always have something to say. And this fiery spirit has not exactly been tempered by spiritual immersion, and perhaps that's the way it should be. I officially began a spiritual path in 2015 for many reasons. It is my privilege to share my beautiful, painful, humbling path to what has unfolded to be a more authentic and wise way of being. But as I sit here, somewhat at a crossroads yet again, I wish to highlight the one clear truth I have uncovered about spirituality. It will not save you from living your life. It isn't an alternative to being of this world with wars, famine, racism, death, violence, money, and sex and shame. There is no teacher to save you, to surrender to. There is no set path, no manual, no amount of money you can throw at it to give you a set answer within a prescribed period of time. It is not a consumable commodity. And there is no swift spiritual equivalent of a gruesome lobotomy. And there is no way of avoiding, befriending, and confronting yourself in the process. Ultimately, you will begin to confront your truth, your darkness, your story, and your capacity to love. I have travelled far afield in India and Southeast Asia, searching for a spiritual home and searching to understand who I am and what I am here for, and the quest continues. I have seen and experienced many things which have led me to the conclusion that the most important thing I have learned to date is this. A spiritual person or a spiritual path is undertaken by someone willing to acknowledge, witness, and take responsibility for themselves, for their actions, their relationships, and their environments around them. It is the path of awareness and taking loving responsibility for yourself, your thoughts, your beliefs, your words, your actions. It is not about standing on your head, donning white robes, or taking monastic vows, nor is it about orgies or other tantric delights. I'm sorry to disappoint you. It is not about taking medicines, plant or otherwise, although these are all enticing treats and some of the many modalities, tools and trinkets that can help you find your way to your authentic truth. But your truth is not found in the foothills of the Himalayas any more than it can be found in the spare bedroom of my parents' house. And it only truly begins when you put down the distractions, which the spiritual path is often used as, and begin to go within. Over the last 4 years, I have been taken down and within to my darkest memories, my most horrifying limiting beliefs, and the insidious stories and lies that have kept me from loving myself and allowing life to love me. The way in which I surrendered, kicking and screaming, began with the discipline and grounding of Hatha Yoga, and it then took a sharp dive down into the divine feminine energetic experiences and stopped bewilderingly at a point where I was summoned back to the UK in spiritual limbo land, opening up my intuition through tarot readings into more. And thus, the wealthy ex-lawyer became an impoverished witch. As a young woman, youngish, as an ex-lawyer, and as a continued cynic, no one could have forewarned me of all that would unfold as I began to go to yoga classes back in 2013. And if they had, I surely would have stuck with Pilates. But whilst I jest and self-deprecate, I sit here sincerely sharing this truth, my truth, with you. Because whilst each of our life experiences will differ greatly, I believe we all search for the same thing: love and acceptance. And my story, my experience, in all its colour and adventure, is just a love story. A story about how I have begun to find love and acceptance of what is, through the self-awareness of who I am and of all I have yet to discover I truly desire. The hardest part of beginning to get to know myself was the sad realization that I had never stopped to ask before. To then allow that darkness of not knowing, of not being able to Google for the answers, to pass with faith and in trust, and cultivating patience during the burgeoning relationship of getting to know and love myself. It is my hope that my experiences will inspire you to begin or to continue your own spiritual practice of getting to know yourself, of getting to love yourself, and of the wisdom that comes from doing so. To seek to untangle yourself from the lies of your experiences to date, and this is not work for the faint-hearted. And I have been tempted to quit so many times. But I share my authentic truth to give you solace as you find your own, to know that we walk together on our own individual paths, less trodden, however similar or unlike we and our respective paths are. Thank you for being a witness to my path. So that's like the tip of the iceberg in terms of the spiritual connection that I found through myself. And sorry, I'm just messing about with the screen. It's been a wild ride, and it only got easier when I decided to stop fighting that it was me I needed to love. It was me that was facilitating the connection, and it was me that was getting in my own way. And believe me, this was not in the 10-year, 50-year plan when I was at school. This was not foreseen or expected, but I am no longer living a life that I'm performing. I am embodying me and still finding out who I am, because I've decided to just turn away from the things that I was told I should be, to do the things I thought I should do, and to firstly make time for myself as a priority. So I've had a couple of comments, from women interested in the course, and there are always going to be hurdles and stumbling blocks to you wanting to invest time, money, and energy in something. We all have our own experiences with abundance. We all have our own experiences with lack. And every time someone like myself presents an opportunity for you, it is a choice that you get to make as to whether you want to step in and take that opportunity. And I'm not here to say that this offering is for everyone and it's the answer, but I am here, especially this evening, to sort of encourage you to just sit with whether you're called and why resistance comes up, because a lot of it is just self-sabotage. I'm too busy, I don't have enough money, I can't fit it in. I don't understand what it's about. I know there's a lot of resistance, particularly in women, to feminine energetic experiences. Oh, it's the woo woo stuff. It's hippie. It's not going to give me a result. But as I said at the start, you know, the connection with and through women has been one of the most softening and healing and profound experiences of all the things I've experienced in the last 5 years in India, in Southeast Asia, and in the UK in terms of following a spiritual path. So I have a little bit more that I'd like to share with you about the course, but does anyone have any questions, any comments after what I've shared already? I'm being mindful of the time too. There are 5 people here. I've said hello and heard from 2, so if you haven't said hello to me, do comment. It'll pop up at some point. Hello Tara, hi Natasha, Jane, Teresa, hello ladies. So yeah, I believe I'm speaking to women, but you know, brothers, you are welcome here. Any comments there, ladies? Any questions? Okay, so in terms of payment, the early bird special, hi Amanda, the early bird special expires on Monday. There is a discounted price. You know, for me, abundance and charging money for my services is a practice. And I have tried to offer this experience at an affordable price, but also to respect the energy and the service with which I will be offering you on the 4 weeks together. So there, to give you a quick summary, there'll be 5 90-minute sharing circles with the women who show up. We will be women in circle. We will join together. There will be ritual. There will be intention setting. There will be guided meditations and practices to help you unpick or begin to become more aware of limiting beliefs or connections possible to do with the theme of each week. And we'll also spend some time doing pair work, and each week is different. And I think the one thing I want to say is this work's fun. You know, getting together with sisters and doing spiritual work, yes, as I talked about, it can be really hard to go into the shadow and dig up the things that you're scared to face and confront. But there's a fun, embodied way to do it too. And finding myself as a woman and being playful in a woman's body has been... it's been transforming. At some point we have to start saying yes to positivity and saying yes to enjoying ourselves and enjoying what we've got now, and that was one of the big switches for me. So I keep going off on tangents and it's not even like you're asking me questions. So it's the calls will take place, thanks Teresa, on Sunday evenings 8 till 9:30 p.m. So it's live 90-minute calls. If you can't join us live, then the videos will be available so you can catch up. It's on the Sunday, so the first one is the opening circle, which will set the theme for the first week. The first week is setting a safe container, Shiva. So we need masculine energy. The masculine energy is the riverbanks and the feminine energy is the river. So when we come together in circle and in spiritual practice, we want to call in a safe container. So the spiritual practice that you will be doing for 15 minutes only a day for that first week is a guided meditation. But it's not a mindfulness practice in terms of avoiding yourself. It's an embodiment meditation practice, because that to me has been where I've had the huge shift on actually learning to enjoy meditation. And I do enjoy it. And I never used to. I used to sit shouting and swearing in my head in the ashram and just thinking I'm a failed yogi because I can't meditate still. It's completely changed it, having this new intuitive embodied sort of meditation practice. So every Sunday, there will be then the opportunity to connect with the women in the group. We will share our experiences of the past week and then look forward to the next week. Each week there will also be theory, discussion and Q&A. So you're going to be learning different philosophies, you know, the masculine energy, the patriarchy, feminine energetic archetypes, how, you know, it's understanding how much we've been repressed through our history, through our society. And it's not, you know, as I say, it's not stitch and bitch. It's about empowerment, and it's about getting you to start to question and see things for yourself, and where you're holding yourself back from limiting beliefs that have come through societal conditioning and not through your own intuition and heart. So on top of the 5 weeks, there'll be 5 weeks. We'll have a closing circle at the end of the 28 days. But every day there's a practice, so each week is a different theme, so you get to try out different techniques that I've used, and each one is spiritual. They're just very different. So there's meditation, there's free feminine flow, there's then connecting with the body. So we're going to be doing sensual practices, and then the last week is about using the mind and really tripping this switch into positivity. So affirmations and all sorts of things that I've been using as your practice. So for 15 minutes a day, that's all you need to commit to. And now the reason I'm doing it as a container with this accountability is because accountability in sisterhood, well, in any group, but accountability really gets you to show up. I know that from experiences I've had, that when I know there's a group that I've got to say, I've done day 1, I've done day 2, 3, 4, it means I make time to do it. It's so easy, I know that we lead busy lives, women in particular, we're mothers, we're workers, we're friends, we're sisters, we're doing all the things for other people, and we put ourselves last. But when you have committed to yourself financially, but also time-wise and energetically, you've got this container, this accountability to say, I need to do this 15 minutes practice a day. And for me, I've spent, 6 weeks, 4 weeks in ashrams, in immersive experiences where the repetition of making time for yourself, the repetition of practice is what shifts your perspective into wanting to do it once you're outside of the container. And it really gives it a chance to resonate and to explore it. So this is, I've put this together to kind of merge as best as I can, given that it's online, that you're going to get this immersive experience where you're with your sisters, your group every day connecting. And I'll be there, if you had specific queries, questions, things to share, I'm there for one-on-one, and there'll be bonus, suggestions and things for you to try in the week, because this is an opportunity to explore yourself and spiritual practice. So as I say, you just need to want to say yes. But on the finance point, there are payment plans available for people that are struggling to get the money together in, say, one lump sum. So you can talk to me about payment plans. I've suggested 50-50, so August, September, and again the early bird, you're saving £40, which is near enough a free week, a little bit shy of that, I don't want to over egg it. But these courses also, they generally are going for $500 US, which is £380. So I'm already, I feel that I've tried to set a fair costing, so it's accessible, but also that you are putting that investment in energetically. And I am here as your sister, needing to earn an income and have my energy reflected in that exchange. So yes, that is my piece on payment and payment plans. Please do talk to me. I really want the women who are called by me and called by this work to lean in and to talk to me about their resistance, about their obstacles, because I want to help you help yourself if you feel, excited by this opportunity to work with me. So any questions? Hopefully, Teresa, I've answered that. Yep. So the course will run for, it's 29 days, but the live calls will happen Sunday evenings, 8 till 9:30. I will, when this video posts at the end, I'm going to put the link to my landing page, which has information, and then you can sign up, and then you'll receive a PDF, which my gorgeous sister has helped me put together, and it's got the full course curriculum and package. So I've talked, we're nearly at the half an hour mark. I don't want to go on if people don't have any more questions. I think I'm just checking my notes. I think that's all I wanted to share and just make myself available to you. So I'm just pausing for a second just to see if any more comments come in, because I do think there's a delay. There's 7 of us here, so if you haven't said hello, let me know who's here. Thank you for being here. This is my first live, particularly with the tarot, so it's really nice to have some friendly, familiar faces. Thank you. And for those watching it on the replay, please do know you can send me a message, put comments in the video box, and I will answer them. But also in my email, I'll make sure that's on, so you can email me with questions. Okay, there doesn't seem to be any comments. Okay, so we're going to move into readings. Okay, so thanks, Natasha. Thanks. I know I get excitable when I talk, so it's actually nice feedback for me to know that I've explained it because I do feel like I'm like a train that picks up pace sometimes when I'm speaking. Okay, ladies. So this, I can't see you. I do know some of the ladies that have popped up in the window. I'm going to ask for you to let me know if you want a reading. I'm going to start to connect with the cards. And then, yeah, as I say, I set an hour aside. If you all want a reading, then we've got time to do that. It's going to be a short reading, just quick fire. Thanks, Amanda. And Teresa, thank you. Yeah, I think unfortunately, you know, Facebook and Instagram, it's a great tool for connecting, but it is hard to connect to, you know, someone's energy and to the energy behind a project, because there's so much on offer, and I know that it can be overwhelming. Okay, so Teresa, I'm going to ask for a card for a message for you. Okay, the Nightingale. Okay, so this is feeling a little bit like a hoarse throat. I feel that you're kind of shouting into the wind, that there's a little bit of there's no power in your voice, like you can be seen but not heard. It's a cool energy, so obviously I feel like we're actually stood on the moon. So it feels like maybe you're in a different world and having trouble communicating effectively because you're feeling like you're just not having your voice heard, not having your energy connected with. I feel like there's something with the throat. You need to be careful about what you're giving, what you're expressing, because I feel like the energy is empty. Yeah, it's like you're trying to show up. I feel like, I don't know if you've got a sore throat, but there's something here about your expression, and it just doesn't feel, there's not a lot of life and energy in this card, okay? So I think you need to rest, stop exhausting yourself. I feel like maybe you feel like you're repeating yourself. You say the same thing over and over again and nothing ever changes. The moon energy, we're coming up to the full moon. So it's a really good energy or time to withdraw and reconnect with yourself. I said this, I've just posted a full moon reading on YouTube, and it was about reflecting on how you're seeing things, to really go back to basics and look at how you're perceiving situations, because there's always more than one way to see a situation. So if you're hoarse and you're not getting through to someone, then it could be that you need to change your approach. Not that you're wrong, but it's about being effective with your energy. And this is the kind of feeling of like you're just shouting into the wind or not expressing yourself. There's a timidity with the Nightingale, and it's got a beautiful song. You've got a beautiful voice, expression. You should be heard. You should be listened to. People should be connecting. But if you look, the Nightingale, it's not in a garden. It's not, in community, in tribe. It's very much sort of feeling like it's left on another planet, sort of voicing its song, and no one's responding. So what I would say is pull back, stop trying, stop leaning in, stop using your energy, pull back, reflect on, are you repeating things, repeating the process for the sake of it, for the sake of being, saying something, doing something. Can you pull back and maybe change your perspective and change your approach so that you can be better heard and better received? Sorry, I was looking at the comments to see if anything was popping up rather than the camera. So this is your card, Teresa. I hope that resonates and supports you. There's a cool energy here. And I just feel like this is partly why it's so important that we have spiritual practice, is because we can go within and always tap into support and love and nourishment. And we're not crying out for it externally. This feels like your cries aren't being heard externally, so it's time to go within and reset yourself from within. Okay, so rest that voice of yours, reconnect. Okay, so questions: will the group be closed? Yes, the group will be closed when the course begins. It starts on Sunday the 13th. I will be closing registration a day. Thanks, Teresa, and thanks for letting me know it resonates. I will be closing the group at least 2 days before the 13th because I want to set up the WhatsApp group. I want to send information over by email. So yeah, it starts on Sunday the 13th with the opening circle, but registration will close before. Face-to-face groups once lockdown allows. I'm actually moving back to Southport on Monday, so Jane, I know that you're there. I'm not sure. I need to get back to Southport, and this course online is my priority. I would love to connect with people face-to-face. So watch this space. Yeah. But I will be back, and yeah, I mean, women's circles, depending on the space, it's just difficult, especially with, you know, chanting or singing or kirtan, which is also passions of mine. There's obviously a lot of a restriction around voice work, which doesn't mean we can't have women's circles, but I want to sit with that, okay, before I commit. Okay, so Jane, I will come and do a reading for you. Anna, hello, nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure. So because of my international travels, I've obviously met women from all over the world, different cultures. And I know Amanda, who's here, is in Canada. So yeah, the time frame is always tricky to get these things right. And that's what I would say about these courses. You know, if you're watching me and you're not UK based and 8 p.m. doesn't work, give me feedback. You know, I'm just sort of trying to make a guess at who's interested in these things and when it works for you and for me, because, you know, I can't really go much later in the evening. So yeah, like, let me know if there's things that, you know, better times. I was thinking about a Sunday afternoon session, not for this course, this one will stay as it is. But yeah, just trying to make sure I'm accessible. Okay, Anna. So at the moment, I connect with my highest self and the divine, the spirit, in some way. I do intuitive reading, so I use cards at the moment in order to facilitate the messages coming through me. So I'm going to just pull a card for Jane. Okay, and then we're going to end within the hour. Okay, so if anybody else is here and would like a reading, do make that clear. Okay. What message do you have for Jane, please? Message. We've got another bird, Jane. Okay, bear with me, Anna, and I'll come to you next. Okay, the hummingbird. Okay, Jane, very different energy to what we had for Teresa, but again, I am looking at this voice activation because the red of his throat, it's like the Christmas red robin, and it's like your mouth is shut and there's a build-up. So interestingly, I do feel like it's a completely contrasting message to Teresa, where you need to look at what you're not expressing. Yeah, there's healing needed here. Red to me isn't, you know, it would normally affect the solar plexus potentially. So I feel like there's this brewing in your stomach. I don't know if you've been having acid reflux or indigestion. There's something to do with, because I had acid reflux. That was one of the things that started me on alternative spiritual healing, was just this bile, and it's from, you know, repressing anger, and that's what boils in your stomach, and then it can affect your throat, your voice. So there is just some area of activation here. I am drawn to the fact that the hummingbird is surrounded by white light and color. So it could be that rather than this being a negative experience, it's just about activation. And this would be encourage. It's funny, I just mentioned kirtan and chanting, and I don't know if you recoiled a bit about that. I don't want to do those things. There's a need for you to look at what you've got resistance to in terms of doing throat voice work, throat chakra voice activation. I feel like it's actually going to bring on spiritual connection. Like this bubble is like Kundalini energy. It's connection. It's pure white light, connection to source energy. So I do feel like there's a need to tap into this energetic source, and there's a reason why you have resistance to it. I did too. You know, I grew up all of my life thinking I couldn't sing, and now I lead kirtans, and now I actually feel a power in my voice. that is healing for me and for other people when I sing or even just talking. So I feel like there is a reason when we have resistance, it's because we're going to tap into something powerful, and it's almost like we're scared of it. So this is the movement that this release needs to happen for you to take flight. Sorry, the wings. This is about activation. Okay. 1 second, my throat's dry. You know, there's a yoga, I'm looking at Hummingbird, there's a yoga practice to get you started called Brahmari. So you inhale and then you exhale, and you just hum with the length of the breath. Okay, that's clearing for the throat chakra. And it's also going to get you developing the capacity to breathe, your lung capacity, and it's also going to get you comfortable starting to make sound. So I strongly suggest that you get connecting to vocal sound work to shift this energy. And as I said at the start, if this is something specific that you're not saying or doing, there's a build up, or you need to get it up and out of your throat. It's funny because his belly's flat, so it's just this localized area. Okay, I hope that resonates, Jane. Okay, Anna. Okay, Anna's asked for a message from her husband. Anna, this isn't something I'm used to doing, so I feel emotional. I feel a little resistance. I'm scared to do this, so just bear with me. I'm going to ask to move out of the way. Okay, so can we have a message, please, for Anna from her husband? Okay. Okay, too many cards. Just a card, please, for Anna from her husband. What message do you have for Anna? Okay. Okay, Anna, there's a few cards. It feels quite scattered energy. So whether that's me just resisting. So you've got the Spirit card. The Dragon's Eye. I want to say he's with you and he's watching you. I don't know if he's passed, if that's the assumption I've made. But if he's here, he is watching you. So this could be, you know, a warning message or a supportive message. You know, this card to me is a little bit like the 007, like the zero put, you know, at the end of the intros in the Bond movies where he goes into the gun range. So it's like center, the eye of the storm, the central point that is watching you. The Dragon card is one of the Spirit cards. So, okay, thanks, Anna. He is here and he is watching you, and this spirit energy, it's dragon energy, is really powerful. I want to say, is he connected to the dragon in terms of, you know, like the Chinese years? But it could just be me making obvious connections to the dragon. But it is this, I'm just feeling this spiral, this energy. Okay, so there's layers here of perception and perspective. It feels to me like you could look into something and see him reflecting back. There's a sadness in this eye. It feels like an obvious comment to make, but it's a very powerful eye. So that's really all I'm drawn to saying, is that he's with you, he sees you. This is like it's like reflecting in a pool. If you go to a lake, is there water or somewhere near you where you can go, or is there a spot where you connected? Because this feels to me now, I'm looking at it like the shimmering reflection in a lake in water. So I feel like you could go there and you could see him through that reflection. And there's this, you can connect with him. I think it's just having to remove yourself. So the color to me would be the busyness of the world, the color and the density, and then we're sort of going into focus. As I said, with that signal, that focus, you can draw your focus into stillness and then have a different sight and perception here. But it's very much still drawing you in, and it's a focus. But he's watching you. He's here, you know, he's here. Okay. I think that's all I have to share, and I hope that reading resonates. And yes, lots of love for your loss, and thank you for sharing. Bethany, welcome. Okay, so I've got Amanda. I've got another. Wait a minute, I'm getting a bit of a headache, but I don't know what that's to do with. Okay. This is the first time I've done this. For those of you who don't know me or are joining, I haven't done a live intuitive reading where I've tried to connect with different people. So it's me being here, trying to obviously get out of my way to be of service. So I'm just trying to observe it with you too. Okay, Annie, you're very welcome. Okay, so Amanda. I'm just noticing, Natasha, you said Teresa's cards resonated. I mean, the collective reading for the full moon was all about changing your perception and taking a step back. So if you haven't watched it, go and take a look. And I will do Amanda's reading and we'll see where we go. And Natasha, if you would like a reading, don't be polite. I feel that you are. And Bethany, you've joined us. Love and light to you. Let me know if you'd like a message. And that will probably be it. Okay, so Amanda, what message do you have for Amanda? Stingray was just showing up for me. Let's see. Okay, 2 cards falling. So the cosmic egg and the so we've got a full moon in Pisces on Tuesday, and the cosmic egg, sorry if you hope you can see these cards, the cosmic egg was up on the reading, and then the little fish, the fish is the symbol of Pisces. Now, this is quite a graphic message. This feels like a hook. This feels like a card where the fish is being gutted, the fish is being caught, because it feels like the red insides. So again, when I'm feeling like it's this lower region up into the solar plexus, up into, you know, the innards, the intestines. I don't know if you're having, you know, problems with your, I mean, don't have to respond personally, but with bowel movements, with digestion, it just feels like there's a lot of inflammation and almost like not a cyst, a hernia. Potentially, there's just something here where I feel like the fish is being gutted, like it's being caught on a hook. You've got obviously the cosmic egg is a spirit card, so there is this energy of just bear with me. See, the cosmic egg to me, it is about deep protection. It's about, you know, I think what I said in the full moon reading, and I don't just want to repeat myself, but it is about how you are making yourself vulnerable. You know, the fish is attracted to bait, yeah, and the fish puts itself, it doesn't maybe realize, but if it's swum through a lake or something once before and got caught and snared on a net or snared in a hook, you know, you would hope that it would learn not to go back. So I feel like that this is a message not to go back into waters you've been swimming in where you've been hurt before. You need to learn from your wounds and your lessons, because the more you repeat an experience, the more the build-up in the body will appear. So whether you've had those physical symptoms or issues that I've expressed, I feel like the inflammation or the physical symptoms will happen if you keep avoiding the warnings that you're already getting and the knowledge and the experience that you've already got. And the cosmic egg is this, I mean, it's not gripping here for me. It's actually just like a protect yourself, nurture yourself. Stop swimming in the waters. Stop going out and having adventures. You need to come back and nurture yourself and heal with whatever you need to heal from at the moment. And really let yourself be cocooned. It feels like a mother's embrace. In the Kundalini snake, it's spiritual energy here in the cosmic egg, but really this is saying let yourself be mothered, mother yourself. Come back into that egg, into that protective nest, that shell. It could be obviously divine feminine energy, mother's energy, but this is really a need for you to stop swimming in waters that are unsafe for you, because there's this hook. It's just this hook. And the fact that it's red is what's leading me to, it feels bloody. It feels like it's already caught you once. Yeah. Okay. Just checking the comments. Hi, Bethany. Yeah, you'll be my last one. Okay. So, Natasha. Have a message, please, for Natasha. What would you like me to share with Natasha? What would you like me to share with Natasha? You're welcome, Amanda. Okay. 3 cards. I'm just going to pop them back because I only want 1 or 2 max. Flew on the floor. Message, please, for Natasha. Just 1 or 2 cards, please. Spider. You've been busy. You've been busy weaving this web. You've been busy connecting people, connecting things. And it's all coming from you. It's coming from your energy. It's coming from your heart center. I just feel a fragility here because, as we all know, spiders' webs are lost at any time. And it's the curse, but also the gift of the spider that it will just rebuild. And it will rebuild quickly, and it will rebuild without sulking and holding on. You never see a spider staying in a web that's been, half torn down by a human or a hoover or whatever. The spider always begins again. Just be careful about what you're holding on to, because I do think you've exerted a lot of time and energy into building this, into weaving this web, building these connections. But when we put ourselves at the center of it and when we make it about us, we then are over attached to it. And if something needs to fall away, be altered or adapted, or leave for something else to come in, then you slow that process down because you're hoarding and you're holding on, as opposed to letting nature, the passage of time, let things fall away, let the web fall. Because this does feel like a completion. It feels like you have been working on a project or on a connection. I'll let you apply this to your situation, but there's very little room left on this web for more to build. It's like you've filled the space, you've built up what you can here. And the spider's done it because he wants to catch something. But this web is only going to be of purpose, be of use, as long as it's doing its job. And again, I do feel like there's a lesson here to not get over attached, to know that everything's temporary, things will fall away, and to learn potentially where you can overinvest your energies to make things nice and beautiful and connected. And have you gone over and above and sort of used your energies up than what needed to be done to create a web and a home, because ultimately this too shall pass. It's temporary, and the security it's giving you, I want to say now, like the busyness, it's like you've stopped and you've come to the end and you're like, oh, now what? Now you've got to wait. Now you've got to wait in anticipation for the catch. You've got to wait for the next project, because you've done it. You've completed this, and you've also got to bear in mind that it can go, and it will go because it's time for you to move on to the next project. So don't hold on too much. Don't watch when we tell ourselves I'm secure and I'm safe now and this is it, and I'm thinking of people say this is my forever home, and I've really invested my heart and soul here, but that it isn't true necessarily. And what if there's always more, there's always better? It's just, I don't say that, I move a lot, as you know, and there's always that upheaval and the change and the I've got to begin again, especially when look at the colours. It's a beautiful web, it's colourful, it's bright, but it's completed. So yeah, I just feel like for you there's an ending here, there's a cycle ending, and just to look at your attachments to that, because you are very much in the centre, very attached, sort of, I feel like it's clinging on, like hoping that nothing takes it away. And maybe they won't, but if you're living in fear and contraction and you're over attached to it, then you're going to get tested. Yeah. Whereas if you can just allow yourself to have had this experience of building, of creating, and allow it to come and go, you'll find, more ease and grace with the waves of experience that we're here to have. So just look at your attachments to what you've built, and look at your reasons for why you've, done it. Yeah. Has it been in balance with your energies? Or are you now holding on to it to mean more because you overinvested and overexerted in it? Okay, Natasha, that's it. That's the end for you. Just reshuffling the cards. So back and last card, 56 minutes. Perfect timing. We will go to Bethany. So nice for you to say you're happy to be here and experience it. Me too. I actually feel very connected to you guys. I mean, I know most of you, which is lovely, but thank you for being here, and thank you for being open to my readings. As I say, this is not this is still new for me, but it's helpful for me to put myself out there a bit more and try these different formats, see how they work. Okay, if anybody does want to follow up with me privately, because obviously the messages, you'll be able to watch the video, the replay, but just message me if you need support. Personal readings are available. You can purchase those with me, but as I say, with this being a group setting, I just want to be sure that I'm holding space for you too. Okay, you're welcome, Natasha. Don't know why I'm calling you Natasha now. So I'm seeing a full beautiful name on the page. Okay, last reading, Bethany, thank you for being here. What message do you have for Bethany, please? What message would you like me to share with Bethany? Oh, you have the unicorn. Oh, Bethany, I've been... Oh, okay, the rabbit and the unicorn. This sounds like a beautiful fairy tale. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get the angle right with these. You've also got a spirit card. This is powerful energy. Sorry, I'm showing you the rabbit. Okay, spirit cards in this deck have the same effect as Major Arcana card, if you know what they are, and they have like the most weight in terms of the reading. Now, interestingly, I've been calling in and working with unicorn energy, and it's healing energy. It's obviously magic and mystical energy, but for me, it's about allowing yourself to perceive magic, to perceive power, and to do that through sort of innocence and inner child. So the rabbit here, I'm thinking of Peter Rabbit. I don't know if you'll get these references. I'm British, but Peter Rabbit is a children's book, and the author was a female author in the Lake District. And Peter Rabbit was a naughty little rabbit who used to go and steal carrots from the farmer and get himself in all sorts of trouble. So I'm feeling this playful inner child energy here, like telling stories, going back into things that you loved as a child. The rabbit is also a little bit timid, so it could just be that you're on alert. but I think you're just sensitive, and I think you've got these big ears. I don't know if you must be spiritually connected to be here with me, but I wonder if you're starting to hear messages, if you're connecting more to your spirit guides, and it could be unicorn energy. And I don't say that to be cherished. This is healing energy. They're basically archetypes or energies, and we can have the visual, the story, and the connection to the unicorn to help us tap into that sort of type of energy. Okay, so however you resonate with mythical creatures, if it helps you be more imaginative, it helps you be more playful. If you literally feel that you're working with unicorns, whatever it is to you, keep doing it, because yeah, there's this sort of really sweet energy here. And I just feel like it's you up on alert, because you can sense there's some shifts, there's some energy coming in, and there's big magic here for you, Bethany, big magic. Okay, the unicorn, I can only share this because it's something that has only come in for me. It's been confirmed in the last 10 days. And then I watched something about unicorns, and there was another medium saying that when people are working with unicorn energy, it's because big shifts are coming in energetically, and they're going to start stepping into their power. So I don't know if you're similar to me in terms of you've got intuitive, psychic, medium type skills, but I feel like there's a shift coming for you in healing. I do want to say healing because the unicorn energy is healing energy. It can help us heal our body, heal our hearts, heal our minds. It's healing to the collective vibration of the earth as we're going through this spiritual ascension process. But there's just this, allow it in, okay? You may be a little bit scared because the rabbit is a timid creature and its heart goes and it's like, oh, I'm not sure I can handle this. But I really feel like trust this energy, trust this in your highest good. Obviously, the symbolism here is with third eye. Connect to your intuition in your third eye and allow this magic in. It's really lovely energy. The rabbit and the unicorn. I don't know if someone's written a children's book about this, but look it up, see if they have. There's definitely a sweetness and it would be of service for you to connect to your playfulness, to your inner child, and to go back into your imagination and your daydreams. Our thoughts are powerful. And one of the things I often say in spiritual practice is we do have to fake it till we make it. So in terms of me developing my sight, I have to imagine I'm seeing things, and it's like I describe them like I'm writing. I describe what I'm seeing to myself in my head because I don't yet, or maybe ever, see spirit or messages come in. I've started to see things moving in cards, which is interesting. And like I say, like sometimes I'll look at a card. So Bethany, if I was reading for you now, and then this card came up, say for Amanda, I would see different things in it. Things would stand out to me differently. So I just feel like, hopefully I'm sure this is making sense to you. Like you are opening up spiritually and in your intuitive connection, and it can be scary, but I feel like you're actually, Peter Rabbit was a cheeky rabbit. So don't be fooled by any limitations you put on yourself. The rabbit might not be the fiercest card in the deck. It's not going to be high up in the sort of predatory animal kingdom, but it can be smart and savvy and cheeky, and it's got a lot of endearing qualities. So let that, lead you and take you through with your confidence into exploring multi-dimensional, uncharted territories. Yeah, spiritual expansion. Okay. So thank you, Jen. Hey, nice to see you here. Jennifer, hello. Yeah, technology, hey. I'm not going to carry on with the readings. I said I would do an hour, so apologies for those that have joined and haven't connected with. Thank you, though, for coming on and saying hello. You can watch the replay, and I encourage you to do that because the ladies here who connected with me said that they found my introduction, my explanation of the course really helpful and clarifying, and I also read the introduction of my unpublished book. So that was just a personal touch from me to you, to my community. You're welcome, Bethany, thank you. And as I said, I will put a post up either around this video of more information to the course, of my email, so you can connect with me. You're very welcome, Amanda. It's my pleasure. Thank you, Tara. And so, Tara, I hope I didn't miss you saying you wanted a reading, so I've just realised you were here at the start. Yeah, so I'm going to start rambling again. Yeah, the replay will be up. You can watch back at any time. Contact me. Come and chat to me about the course if you're interested. And thank you for being here. So much love. Have a beautiful evening, everyone. Take care.